We should be recording, but I did not see a red button. There it is. All right, so we are now recording. So make sure that you all know that. I'm going to start by sharing my screen, and we will start our enrollment management and student success meeting today by talking about the grant activities going on, and we're going to give a whole slew of updates that kind of flow from that today. So we'll start with that, and I will share my screen here. So this is a combination of D3C3, the Detroit Drives Degrees, as well as the Title III grant, all kind of in one logic model chart. And a huge thank you to Doug Richter for putting this together. This is just fantastic, and he's done great work at making this a living document, if you will. So we are presently in process of hiring a grant program administrator. The position is called grant manager. We've been looking for that for a while, and Grace and I have put together a team, and we have an interview coming on, I believe, Wednesday next week. So hopefully we will get that. The irony is the grant manager, it looks like, is pretty much coming last in the hiring process of all these grants. Then we've hired educational advocates. We have 5, which will be introduced in a little bit, and a assistant director of multicultural community engagement, which will also be introduced in a little bit as well in the admissions staff. And their goals are to really work with students prior to admission, up to enrolling them in the first semester of courses. And we're really trying to drive our recruiting processes back into the high school, 9 through 12, and even earlier. In the past, we have done some of that work, but this allows us to really take that to a much more proactive level. Then we have our application process. The application process 2 years ago was one in which students would apply through an online system, and we would then go write code to find those applications every day, print them out, and then type them into Colleague. An absolutely insane process. And it was a process in which we did not keep track of students who had applied to the college or inquired into the college. And so with that, we have a new CRM system. Great work being done there. And Katie, when you talk, if you could give an example of how that system is being used already to track some students, especially with our work with the advocates and the deans, that would be fantastic. And Amanda Gregory, our CRM manager, will talk about the great things to come with that. This is some work out of Kiri's office right now, Dr. Wygonic, and Brianna. Brianna has taken a Title III grant position for assessment, and just fantastic work where actually we will be utilizing data that is brought into the application system, test scores and so forth, to predict students' needs and get them student support where they need. And so this is very, very exciting what's going on right here, where we are really on the cusp of the front edge of technology and community colleges, helping students literally the day they need it rather than retroactively after they fail the test, so forth. So this is very exciting. We have always done mandatory advising in the first semester, but what we're trying to do is really expand that and be able to do advising and help students within their discipline by having discipline-specific first-year experiences. We have interviewed a few people. Grace's team has interviewed a few people for a first-year experience coordinator. And so we will have some updates in the coming weeks on where that process is, but that's very exciting. This fall, we have first-year experience per the grant requirements. We are doing a pilot on first-year experience course, a first-year experience course for undecided students, and those courses are already filling, so that's great work there. We have worked with each of the deans to develop pathways and further the pathway process. Joe has reorganized that webpage, so if you get a chance, please get out and see it. And so we have very clear pathways for each student in each program, and that work will continue as well. And hopefully the first year experience pathway course will actually link into that so that we can have students by pathway, by course in one place, and faculty will be able to work with them effectively. And so then we get into this process of once the semester starts. This is where life becomes really exciting with the CRM. One of the problems that we had in our previous accreditation was advising and helping students after they were first put into courses. We did a good job. Thank you to our counselors, Steve and Peggy, and previously Joyce, who has retired. We did a good job of bringing students in and getting them advised in the first semester, but that's where things seem to fall apart in accordance to our accreditors. And so these processes with the CRM that we're bringing in we will do a much better job of getting students advised continually through the process to graduation, recognizing when they are having difficulties or barriers and helping them to succeed. And so that's what this entire system is about right here. And so with that, let's go back here. I'm going to unshare my screen. That's kind of an overview. And let's go to Katie if we could. And Katie, if you wouldn't mind doing some introductions very quickly. And you can start with Sarah. Actually, Katie, I'll start with you, and we'll do your area first, and then we'll go to Sarah, and then we'll go to Nikki. So all yours.
Okay. Sure. And Scott and everyone, so as Scott said, folks should take vacation, and so many of my folks are on vacation today. But I do have a few. So Alex Gerwick, Alex, can you turn your camera on so folks can see you? So Alex Gerwick is our educational advocate. She works with students in the health division. And then there's also Jennifer St. Charles, and she's coming on as well. She's our educational advocate for, oh, black screen, Jennifer.
Yeah, I know. I just had to put in a work order, actually. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I can't get my camera to work, but hi.
All right. So you can hear her voice, you just can't see her face. So she's Oz for today, from the Wizard of Oz. So Jennifer St. Charles works with our asset division. We have Jared Somm, who will be working or is working with students in the humanities and social sciences. He's out today. Hazel McPherson is our other educational advocate. She's working with business, and she is also out. And then we have one more educational advocate who will be joining our team next month, and that's Kaylin Bates. And she will be working with our math and science division. So we're looking forward to her joining us. And she brings a lot of enthusiasm and excitement to the role. So just like all the other advocates, so it'll be nice to have all 5 of them together. And then we also have Jahel Rivera, who is out today as well. He is the new Associate Director for Multicultural and Community Engagement. And so I'm thrilled to have all of them as part of the team, and we're working very hard. One of the newest additions that we have to the admissions office, if you do not know, is we have brought back in-person orientations this year. There is the new student orientation and registration. So the carrot is you come to orientation, you get to leave with a schedule. So that was the way that we felt that we could get students to come. And so everyone goes through orientation if they are first-time freshmen to the campus. And the educational advocates provide them with a prescribed list of courses they should take for this for the first semester, and we get them registered. So that has been very well received by our students, by the parents and guests who come, and has been just a great time having students on campus. So that's one of the biggest new initiatives that we have. With regards to enrollment for this summer semester, we currently have 668 students registered for the summer. That puts us about even or pretty close to where we were at this time last year. So So we're excited about that. And then for the fall, we currently have a total of 907 students registered. That's ahead of where we were 2 years ago, but we're 14 students behind where we were this time last year. So, so not bad. And I think it just depends on the week. So what's going on each week. So we're working really hard to bring students in, and the educational advocates are just like I am. We like those goals, and we're doing everything that we can to reach them, but knowing that we are, a little bit further behind where we should be in order to be able to do what we need to do. So, so we're working hard to get there, but knowing that there's some challenges that lie ahead. So that is my report.
If we could as well, let's quickly reintroduce a couple of people who have been with your team for a long time, Peggy and Steve, because we may have faculty out there who watch this who are new and don't know who they are, but they are an incredible resource for our faculty and our students. So if you wouldn't mind, if we could do that real quick, I'd appreciate that.
Absolutely. I can actually, Alia is also on here as well. So we'll have them all turn their cameras on. So Alia Pilcher is our student services person. She answers the phones and helps the students and all of that, which is wonderful. There's also Steve Mapes, who is a great resource to our students, is one of our counselors here. And then Peggy Jacob as well, who both of them are fantastic and have just done an amazing job at not only advising our students and counseling them, but also doing some recruitment too in their free time, whatever that might be. So I'm proud to work with them, and am very fortunate to have the team that I have. So working here. So.
And I believe Peggy has been integral in not only the new orientation, but she has truly kept that orientation alive through COVID and so forth. So a big shout out there.
Absolutely.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for all you do. All right, let's go to Sarah. You have some new players there, and so Sarah Mason is our registrar. And a big shout out to Sarah. We want to know, want everyone to know who she is, and she has been relocated to the hallways of the S building. And hopefully we'll get a new building in years to come, and a much more pleasant space. But I'll turn it over to you, Sarah.
Good morning. Not relocated. I've been here since I started. But yeah, I'm Sarah Mason. I'm the registrar, and Linda Roberts is my number 2. She is working remote today to get checkoffs done for, this is the other side of commencement. And we are currently starting to search for a third person for our office. That's, we're small. So that's us. That is us.
Thank you, Sarah. And I know this is crazy busy time for you. People I don't think realize all the work that goes on right after grades are turned in to get ready for the next semester. So somehow we turn that all over, do all the calculations for SAP on every student, and let them know whether or not they're eligible to show up for classes on Monday.
Exactly.
So I will leave you to that, and thank you for all you do.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And Nikki.
Hi, I'm Nikki Hampshire, Director of Financial Aid, working remote today. Have my other partner in crime here helping me package summer students. Happy to say that we have finally a full staff for financial aid. Woohoo! Erin LeDuc started a couple weeks ago as our state program specialist, and he's jumped right in, been an amazing help getting a lot of these awards made for summer students. And Allison came back to our office on Monday.
Exciting. Nikki, would you mind just very quickly, we have a brand new, as if the state couldn't give us more to do, but it's a great opportunity for students, a brand new achievement scholarship from the state of Michigan that's available to all students. If you wouldn't mind just briefly telling everyone what that is about so that they can spread the word to help students realize that truly coming to Monroe County Community College is almost free in terms of tuition.
So it's really hard to talk about right now because there's a lot of back and forth on this. The state has not released an official manual yet because they keep changing the rules. So to be honest, there's a committee for community colleges in the state of Michigan, directors of financial aid, and that meets once a month. Out of all the community colleges, only I think, well, less than 5, probably like 3 have actually awarded this scholarship so far because the state keeps changing their mind on like criteria, how it'll be awarded. So yeah, there's just not a lot of confidence yet in the award. It is geared to help freshmen where the reconnect is more of the adult learners. For community colleges, it's up to $2,750 for the year, but that'll be dependent on other awards. So once we have that official word from the state, then we can start really advertising and announcing it to our students.
All right, as soon as we have that, we'll get out a official notice to the college at large to let you know more details on that. But actually, this is a good example of the complexity of what the state has done with financial aid and how difficult it is on our end to not only figure out what it is we're administering, but also these grants tend to come with a lot of manual labor for our financial aid department, hence the new state position that we've put into place in the last year. So thank you for all your work, Nikki, and I know you're incredibly busy as well, trying to get students packaged and ready to go for Monday morning. All right, fantastic. And Amanda, let's go to you next, and I'll turn the screen to you. This is just so exciting. Amanda has come in. What's it been, Amanda? 3 months now?
Yeah, it's been about 3.5.
Boy, the amount of work that you have done in 3.5 months, I think is equivalent to what we got done when we brought on Target X recruit in a year. And actually you've been really working to even shape up the recruit system as well. So thank you for your amazing work, and I'll turn the screen over to you.
Thank you. Good morning. If we haven't met, my name is Amanda Althouse, coordinator of student success. We've been really busy just kind of getting everything together in the student success area, working with disability services, mental health, trying to pull some reports together about the usage of the center and prepare for the fall for the tutors. We had a really good winter semester with a lot of students utilizing our services. Everybody's been working really hard. Specifically, shout out to Karen, who's been holding the testing center together, and really everybody, Amy and Chris, Barb, all the tutors have been working really hard. So right now I'm transitioning over to hiring for fall. We just submitted the Title III interim grant, and that's kind of where we're at right now.
Thank you, Amanda. And I often forget we have 2 Amandas on. So I'll need to differentiate you with Amanda Althouse and Amanda Gregory. Great work, Amanda. Thank you for getting that report done. Our first Title III report is in, and Amanda Althouse has been working very well with the financial side as well to get, how much did we pay? How much were we planning to pay? Do you recall? It was well into probably about $250,000 or so that we're going to be reimbursed already by Title III for these positions.
Yeah, that's about where we're at right now.
Yep, fantastic. All right, Amanda Gregory, welcome to the team. It's amazing what you have done with the CRM and getting that up. And I will turn it over to you because this is transformational in terms of the way we do business at the college, the way we interact with prospective students and the way we interact with our continuing students. This will impact pretty much everyone at the college in the year to come as we drive advising into an organized process. That was part of our HLC criticism for continuing advising, and we really want to help faculty to organize their work in advising and simplify processes for making sure that we are contacting our continuing students. So Amanda Gregory, I will turn it to you.
Thank you so much, Scott. And that really is my hope that we are well on our way to, to bringing things together and to having things all in one place. My report is very sort of wave tops, high level overview of what we're looking at. As you mentioned, and as Katie mentioned too, we have the recruit piece of this process up that's doing the application and some of the application management, and that's been going along really successfully. It still has hiccups, but it always, computer systems always will have some of those. And we are working towards standing up the second half, which is the retention piece. So this is TargetX, it's also the CRM, and it's also Salesforce. Those are basically interchangeable terms for the same thing. So Salesforce is the very powerful platform, CRM platform, initially created for sales that TargetX is built on top of. One of the common analogies used is about cell phones, but I hate that one because I don't think it's accurate. But I would say if you know anything about video games, even the tiniest bit, like I've learned from my kids, what it is Salesforce is the game. Salesforce is Minecraft or Fortnite or whatever. And TargetX is a skin or a mod that you place on top of it. So you're still using Salesforce. TargetX makes it look different and makes it look much more approachable from a higher ed standpoint, so that less of the terminology is about selling things and more of the terminology and structure is about helping our students. So if you hear me or Scott or anyone say CRM or Salesforce or TargetX, it's all the same thing, basically. There are two major components. Once they're both up and running, they're going to work very interactively, and the difference between them will not be important anymore. The main reason that the difference is important now is because recruitment is up and running and retention is still being built and put together. And we're hoping to soft launch that toward the end of June and have most of the bugs and kinks worked out by fall, so that we can really dive in and have that be a useful platform where we can bring together a lot of information about the students so that anyone who's assisting the students can get into that system and see basic background information, and everyone can be on the same page about where those students are coming from and what information has been given to the students by other individuals. If I can share my screen, lost the button there. I can give you, goodness, let's see, one of these 12 windows, this one. So this is in our test system, and but this is what individuals logging in, pardon me, this is what individuals logging in to help students basically will see. You'll see it's called the Student Success Center. There are a lot of duplicative names I've noticed. So we've got Student Success Center in TargetX, not exactly the same as the Student Success Center with Amanda Althouse, in the same way that an application in TargetX isn't necessarily the same as trying to get into college. But I'm logged in as myself here. I don't have any students assigned to me, so that's why it's showing 0 here. But if you were logging in as an advisor, it would show the number of students you have assigned to you. The students get a score. So if you have students whose score is placing them at risk, those students would be highlighted here. You'd have a list of appointments that you have upcoming over here. And tasks are things you can assign to yourself or assign to students in the system graduation was just being discussed and getting students ready for that. That's one of the capabilities. If we wanted to, you could put a list of 3 or 4 things the students have to do to prepare for graduation. It's called an action plan, and it's just a set of tasks. So pick up regalia. Goodness, I don't know all the things you have to do to get ready for graduation here. I think I'm at 8 weeks now. But you could put those things in and they would show up in this list of tasks here. And I can show you what a student would look like. Again, I don't have any students assigned, but we've got some nice test students here. So when you go to advise a student, you would see something like this. This is your student. Monica McElhaney is our one of our consultants with TargetX, and she's been very helpful. And this is her as a student in our system. So you can see some background on this student. You can see that she was recently referred, and you can look over at this referral and see some of the details, that she was sent to career services for a test, or this is a test. In theory, these would have a lot more details when we're using them between each other, but you can see that it allows us to share notes and information about students. You can add events, tasks, you can log calls, and everything can end up in the same place, so that when you go in to help a student, you can see that they went to the Writing Center, or you can see that they were referred to the Writing Center and then that they didn't show. So it gives us a powerful tool to have all the information about students together in one place, to have notes. So down here where it says test, that could be a much lengthier note that gives some details on what was discussed with the student at a particular advising appointment, or on why they're being referred to the service that they're being referred to. And then I just wanted to show a couple of images. Did that switch over? Are you seeing something different now?
I don't think so, Amanda.
No.
All right, I have to change what
No.
screen I'm sharing. Gosh.
By the way, it's very cool to see this view. As an audience member, I've not seen this login view yet, so excellent.
Yes, and so it's only in the test system now, but once we get retention up and running, this is the view that you will see when you log in. Let me see. I have to, all right, I'm going to unshare and then reshare my screen with the one I want to show you, which is probably not the most efficient way to do it, but so these are just screenshots from a different test system that I can't log into both at the same time. So I have the one I was logged into and then some screenshots to show you. This is a student view. So a student could be logged in and see this is their success team. So in theory, they would see their academic advisor here. If they're an honors student, maybe they'd see the honors coordinator. If they're a veteran, maybe they would see someone like maybe possibly Gerald. I have not cleared that with him, but but the success team, the people that the students can reach out to, that this individual student can reach out to get different types of support. And this is part of the portal that I'm hoping to set up. The portal will probably not be going live at the end of June. It is the next step after we get that basic view that I just showed you set up. But I'm really excited about the portal from the student's perspective, because that should give the students a place where they can log in. This is not set up with our school colors, just to be clear. It will be branded and it will look like other Monroe pages, but this is a sample page of the portal. So please forgive this color scheme. But the students will be able to log in and see hopefully most of what they need all in one place with the login that they set up when they apply. So from the very beginning, when they start their application, they will they'll be into the CRM system and they'll be able to continue forward with this once they register, accessing this portal. Where they can log in and see things like important links and dates. So they're not live links on this sample screen here, but you can see, you can give the student their ID. This is a secure portal that only the individual student can get into. So it'll look different for each student with their student ID. You can have links to things like registration and the FAFSA, when they scroll down farther, they can see things like, here's your advisor. You can put the different members of their success team on this part of the portal as well, and information about those success team members. So the students can get straight to those in the same place that they've logged into before. And also things like events and appointments. As you'll see down at the bottom, I don't have a further screenshot, but there's the walk-in queue for if they're walking in to get advising. It's a powerful resource, and I don't want to take up too much time and go on and on, because there's a lot more that I haven't touched on in here, but I think this gives sort of an overview of the way that the goal of the CRM is to bring all of this information together in one place for both sides of the coin. So for the students to have one place where they can go, and they may need to follow a link out, for instance, to get to the FAFSA, but they will know that that link is there in their portal when they need to go find it. And all in one place for those of you who are working directly with the students to help them, where you can click on a student's profile and you can see what school they came from. You can see, what their current academic status is, where they've been referred, who else they're working with. So yeah, that's my hope of bringing everything together in one place. And I am always happy to answer questions and discuss any improvements or requests that everyone has. The CRM cannot do everything, and it certainly has some limits. There's an events capability that it has that is absolutely wonderful, but that's mostly for our large scale trackable events. Then there's the general student events calendar, which is outside the CRM, which is for the smaller scale student events and clubs, because we do not want to put all that in the CRM or else things would get very, very busy. But for the most part, on a grand scheme, we're trying to bring as much information together in one place as we can. Scott, would you say that's accurate?
Right on. That is, and this is absolutely transformational. The one thing I do want to say is for faculty on the call, don't get scared at all of this new technology. We are truly bringing it on with the intent of doing the work behind the scenes first, having it in good shape, and then rolling out training and so forth. But this will truly be transformational, allowing you to track your student progress in a way that we have not been able to before, allowing you to contact and communicate with students in a much more streamlined fashion, organized fashion, where what we are doing is also tracked. Thank you, Amanda. This is great work. Hard to believe that you've been here for just 8 weeks with the amount of work that you've done. Just phenomenal. This is great stuff. Katie, if I could ask you to be ready to queue up a sample event, is that possible? To just
I
show
have it on my
the
screen.
college? Okay.
Can you see it on my screen?
Yeah, go to it, but go ahead and yes. So yes, that is, yep.
Okay, sorry. I'm like, which one am I doing here? Sorry. So the great thing about the about Target X, I'm gonna start calling it Target X because that's what it is to me in my brain. So Target X, like Amanda said, has a lot of capability. One of the things, it has two functions that are important for admissions and advising. One is for events. So this is just the month of May. You can see that we actually have a number of events on there, including our orientations. What I appreciate about Target X is that it does keep track of all of the students who have registered for an event. And when they come, we get to check them in. And we also check in the no-shows, and then I get to send an email that says, hey, you didn't show up to our event. Please make sure you reschedule. And so it's pretty efficient to be able to quickly send out an email to Quentin, who didn't show up, and some of these other folks. So for us, that has been a wonderful time saver in our processes. So we can go ahead and put out put out or create an event in the CRM, include a link. Here's the registration link that goes out to our website, and students can fill out the form very easily, and it automatically logs on the student contact side of stuff. So it's very easy to do. I like it because I can build communication plans with the students. I have communication plans about events, communication plans about different activities that they need to take place in throughout their admission cycle, and all sorts of things. So there's lots of opportunities, and I think we're just scratching the surface at this point in time, and look forward to continuing to develop those skills throughout the time with Target X.
So if you would, Katie, pull that back up. The respiratory event, I think, is an incredible example of how our educational advocates are working with their deans to target certain students, to provide them opportunities to attend events to help them decide whether or not they want to enter a program. And this is exactly the type of stuff we're going after, where educational advocates are tracking students in an active way, targeting them for advertising, so forth, to get them into events. And then we are tracking those students not only to the event, but afterwards.
Scott, Helen has her hand up. She might want to add on to that.
Go ahead, Helen.
Yeah, so I don't have access to this yet, and I don't know if I missed this. When are additional folk gonna get access to this? Because I've been holding these information sessions, and I actually haven't communicated with you guys. I didn't realize there was a button to even press that people attended or not. So I haven't been in contact with you to tell you yes, they came, or no, they didn't come. And
Yep,
then yeah, so I was just wondering a timeline of when those additional licenses might come.
We're looking at a timeline of extending licenses in August with the new semester into the fall, with training at that time as well. So Amanda, Gregory, and I have been talking about the budget for that, because it is an additional budget. We have so many faculty that we could enter now, but we want to perfect our systems first. So this is more to let you know what's coming, where it's coming. And actually, this is really fun, Helen, because once we get to that point where you're doing it, as your prospective students walk into the respiratory event, they actually get a QR code when they register, and you can just take your phone, scan their QR code, and it automatically puts them in and updates them, sends them a nice letter saying thank you for attending our event, that's branded, the whole bit. And so we'll be rolling out trainings and getting faculty into these things come August is the plan for training and so forth.
Perfect. And then we'll have an ability. I do have some walk-ins occasionally who never register for the event, and they'll be able to register right there. Perfect. Thanks.
You sure will. Yep. And the nice part about it is, if you want to, after you're done with the event, say there's something you missed or you told them you'd get to them later, one touch of a button and you can send it out to everyone. And you can also send out to those who missed, hey, I'm sorry to see that you missed this event. We'll have another event on such and such day, register here. So it'll have that kind of an organization to it, which is really exciting. But yeah, this is more to kind of be a teaser, a heads up as to what's coming, and to let everybody know what kind of hard work is going on to improve these processes, so that people aren't totally surprised when we start rolling out training and making these things available to everyone. Thierry, if I may go to you. Thank you, by the way, for all of your team's hard work and Brianna's hard work to put assessment behind all of this stuff. And in the case of the CRM, recruit and retention, your team is working hard and actually has met, I believe, with Macomb to develop complex equations to determine which students need help right away in an active fashion. If you wouldn't mind discussing that just briefly. I know I'm putting you on the spot, but thank you.
Sure, not a problem. So in the spirit of everyone takes vacation, Brianna is out this morning as well. Well deserved. So she really does the bulk of the work, And before I jump into my update, Scott, I want to give some comments that Grace is messaging me on the side because she is not able to re-enter your meeting even after I called her into the meeting, which is strange. So she'll be reaching out to IS, I'm sure, here shortly. So we had an instructional area meeting yesterday that went really well. We got a lot of good faculty feedback on the CRM. Grace, well, the CRM relative to how faculty might be able to use that for advising, with the understanding that they haven't had training. And I know that Helen just asked some similar questions that faculty asked yesterday, but we were on the topic of advising and the advising tools. And I'm trying to, forgive me, I'm trying to read what she's saying so that it's right from her. So faculty's feedback was very positive regarding advising improvements. And I think this is a related topic, Scott, especially access to advising screens, the assignment of their advisees. And Katie, Grace is going to follow up with you and share some specific feedback and questions that faculty had. In particular, we had some faculty that are seeing advisees that are graduated. So they obviously are not currently enrolled to be advised any longer. So something maybe in how those are being assigned that can be addressed. And I think that concludes her comments, but she'll reach out to you, Scott, to say it much more eloquently. I wanted to do my diligence and share her thoughts. So regarding the project that Scott's referencing, so this is kind of two-part. So yes, we have met with Macomb County Community College through our D3C3 engagements. And that presentation gave Brianna and I some really good insight into some predictors that we can pull into predictive analytics modeling. Some of those are students' parent or guardian highest level of education, their first generation status calculated from that, their high school GPA, some of their high school coursework. So data points that exist in some fashion, but that will all now be collected on the updated application that I've been working with Amanda and Katie on. So that's a summer project, I think. But so that's sort of a spin-off project. What we're doing with the CRM specifically in the retention suite is what's called success score calculations. So Amanda shared her screen and showed the score that faculty or other advisors might see, the risk score. How that is populated behind the scenes requires some I would say semi-complex calculations in the system. So we're working with historical data to understand the cutoffs, if you will. So what's the cutoff GPA? What are the data points that we want to pull in to model? What's the cutoff placement score for developmental level versus college level? So we're working with a historical data set predominantly at the moment. Data processing services is helping us access that. So thanks, Chris, Jim, and your team. And then eventually we'll engage in some conversations with Katie to understand what are the cohorts of students that we want to be tracking. And we'll actually be able to build customized risk scores, success scores based on cohort. So our first time in any college students will have a separate calculation based on data points that are relevant to them. Our continuing students versus our re-enrolled students, our adult students, our degree seekers, our dual enrolled students. There are a couple categories that we have specific interests in, and we'll be using historical data to model how we can give faculty and others predictions about, how at risk the students are. So that was probably pretty jumbled because I kind of just threw it together, but and we're very in the infancy stage of this. So you'll hear many more updates on this over the summertime. And as we head into the fall, and we'll be writing to this quite a bit in our assurance argument as we prepare for the HLC visit. So it's really, Scott says transformative, and he truly means it. Brianna and I talk all the time about how unbelievably exciting it is that we can take our suspicions, our assumptions, our anecdotes, our feelings, our thoughts, and actually put data behind them now and use powerful, reliable methods to give our faculty and our frontline workers information to help best serve students. And I know faculty that I've spoken with about this are just elated that there'll be some tangible way for them to understand a little more about their student beyond what they can control within their classroom. So thanks, Scott, for having me speak.
Well, thank you. That was very well put. This really is transformative, and actually, what you're doing, Kiri, with this data is you're also putting this data in the hands of students, because with the CRM, we can automate responses with that data to reach out to students and allow them through the CRM to make appointments in tutoring and so forth, counseling that they need to ensure that they are proactively helping themselves and staying on the track towards a new life with a certification and degree. So that's where this is all going, and very exciting stuff. I want to open for questions real quick, and then I have a whole bunch of thank yous to throw out there to my team and others who are just doing phenomenal work. Are there questions? And it's okay if you don't know what to ask yet. We're just trying to lay the groundwork for what's coming, and we will have ample opportunity as we start rolling these things out for assistance, for training, and to answer questions. So very exciting stuff. All right, seeing none, I'm
Scott,
going.
sorry, this is
Yes.
Carrie. I actually have a question slash recommendation suggestion. Not sure what camp it falls in, but we've talked about this in other meetings. I know we have the flow chart that explains the process relationship, right, with all the grants and the new initiatives. But is there a way to kind of quickly put together an org chart, not of the total organization, but specific to the grants? Because I think when people see all these new positions, even when they hear, oh, that's D3C3, I don't know that resonates with people. And I really think it's important, especially when we we prepare for the HLC visit. Excuse me. There could be opportunities where people are not on the same page, right, with what all these roles are doing. So just a suggestion.
Yes, and it will be one org chart, which will show which category, grant, so forth, that everyone belongs to, and will automatically link to the job description as well. I'm just waiting for a few more positions to get filled, but that work is ongoing. So
Oh,
that will be
excellent.
coming up this summer.
Really great. Thank you.
Yep. So with that said, I want to throw out a few thanks. Katie, Sarah, Nikki, Gerald, and all of your teams. Thank you for the amazing work that you're doing, and doing this transformation while running the college on a daily basis, which has been just an incredible amount of work, incredible amount of turnover, or in terms of what you're doing from one semester to the next. We just literally got grades in yesterday, and we're literally starting another semester on Monday. So just lots to do, and you're doing fantastic work. Kiri, Brianna, thank you for all of your input, participation in all of these grant activities, and in the enormous amounts of data that I have requested of you. And your work with the SAS BI is going to absolutely be transformative in allowing us to react in real time to data on a daily basis. So huge thank you there. Alia, you are you're the one that probably gets the least amount of due for all of your work on the front line in dealing with students in such a calm, amazing way. Sheila, as well, thank you for your work. What people don't see is all the work you do behind the scenes, Alia, with the CRM and otherwise. So huge thank you. Dana, your team, and Linda, Holly, thank you. As we, all these grants mean tons of work for how we budget and where we send money, and getting that money back from Title III and getting in advance and distributing it properly out of D3C3. So it's important to acknowledge the work that your team does to actually make these grants happen behind the scenes. I have a whole list here. Jim and Chris, your work on the CRM in conjunction with Amanda and Carrie and her team, and Katie and Amanda Althouse. Huge thank you to you guys. You are running the ship while creating a new future for the college. Our counselors who are on the front line of maintaining students and helping them to get registered and enrolled, all while reinventing processes and creating new orientations. We are back live for orientation for the first time in years. Huge thank you to all of you doing. Our advocates and new folks, thank you for all that you are doing in terms of learning your jobs while you're implementing them and going above and beyond. Special shout out to Jared. I actually heard about your influence at Declaration Day at Monroe Public Schools and how impressed people were with the representation that our advocates are providing out in the schools. So huge thank you. Anything for the good of the order. Thank you, thank you, thank you all. With
Scott,
that,
I'm
yes.
sorry. I did want to mention, I'm talking so much. I'm sorry. I wanted to mention a big thanks that I put in the chat earlier in the meeting. So when we were on the topic of programs, aid programs for students, as Nikki was giving her update, I really want to thank all of the offices and individuals that collaborate behind the scenes to get this reporting done. It may not be on anyone's mind that doesn't have a requirement, to report on these programs. But every time we receive aid for students, or anytime we get anything fun or good for students, we have to report on how we use all of that good stuff. And there's an immense amount of work. I mean, down to the amount of meetings we have to be in to coordinate who does what, and it not even to the point of getting data together and collating it and entering it into systems. So, and Dana's office helps quite a bit with several of those reports. So I just wanted to, it seems like the theme today is shouting out the behind the scenes work, which thanks Scott for highlighting that. It needs to be done more. And it's really not just the IR office. We have access at the highest level of the data, but we have a lot of collaborators and contributors. So thank you to your and Gerald's team, Scott, for that.
Absolutely. And Amanda's noting that she has now been here for 9 weeks. So I can't even believe it's only been nine weeks, Amanda. I mean, that's Amanda Gregory. And one more shout out, Gerald McCarty. I don't know where we'd be without you, sir. Just immense, powerful. The way that you have helped to transform what we are doing and led these efforts and kept everybody afloat. And the culture is phenomenal that we are moving towards. Thank you, thank you, thank you, sir, for all of your work. And I actually have another shout out, our library staff over there, and Karen Cool in testing. Karen, I don't know, thank you. We keep advancing people out of your area, which is a true kudos to how you bring them in, train them, and bring in great people and make them greater and give them new opportunity. But I need to recognize that always leaves you a person short. We will get that person filled as quickly as possible. If you haven't all read it, Liz, our librarian, has put out a wonderful piece of literature about the library, about all that they are doing, the success of the library. You've taken that to a new level. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Liz. All right, with that said, I think it is time to call it a day. Thank you. It's Friday. Well, not call it a day, but get back to our day jobs, and thank you all. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, bye.
Thank you, everybody.